wax here. We're about to run a test on one of the leading brand Turtle Wax car wash and wax products, and my brand, which is going to be the Liquid Gold. This is test number 1 on surfactants and the bubbles, and we're going to compare the surfactant bubbles that it creates from this one to the leading brand. So let the test begin. So I'm going to start adding the Liquid Gold soap here, and it should be concentrated, so I'm only going to try to put about the same amount. So it's probably about 3/4 of a cup, and go ahead and do the same over here. And this, as you can see, is a different consistency. It's thicker. I think I added a little bit more there than here. A little bit more there. All right. Now I'm going to cut the water on and see how many bubbles we get out of both buckets. All right, let's see what we got. Now what I want to mention is immediately I smell a very clean smell, which is exactly what I want as I'm adding water to this soap, to the Liquid Gold. And I'm going to also compare the smell that I immediately get from here. Now this hasn't been any added smells as of yet to this first test to the Liquid Gold. There is some added smells that I will be adding, but I would like to compare at least the initial to that one. Okay, so we see we get a fair amount of bubbles here. The suds are probably about an inch or two above the water. So we do get a fair amount of suds, so there's a good amount of surfactants in the water. It's about an inch or two of suds from water level to the top of the bucket. And let's see what we got with the leading brand. Okay, I immediately also smell something with the leading brand as well. Not as good as what I'm smelling from here, and that's without any added perfumes to the Liquid Gold, but I'm definitely noticing some sort of smell that I'm not too fond of, actually. Obviously, what we can notice immediately right off is that there's way more suds or surfactants that could possibly be in the leading brand. This is a gel sort of feel. The suds are probably about 4 inches or so above the water level. And there's a ton of suds in here. Now, obviously the purpose of suds is it collects dirt. Once you scrub, it collects and holds the dirt for it to be washed off of the vehicle. So that is necessary. Now with this being essential oils and a more organic soap, possibly may not be able to achieve the level of suds here. But all in all, I'm satisfied. So I would like to possibly get a little bit more suds, but for now, let's test and see if in fact it will hold in the bucket. So I'm gonna let this sit for about 10 or 15 minutes or so, and I'll come back and see which, if the soaps or the suds had died down quite a bit, and see what level each one is on. All right, I'll be back. Okay, it's been about 15 minutes, and it looks like with the liquid gold, the suds went down significantly. Probably went down, say about 80%. There still is some suds sitting at the top, and this is probably only went down, I don't know, maybe 5%, 10%. Yeah, maybe like a half an inch, because I believe the suds were pouring over so you got quite a bit of suds left in here. And as a matter of fact, this sud wall was a lot higher than I thought. It's probably about 4 inches or 5 inches of suds. So I don't know if that's overkill or if that's even needed. Okay, this is control test take one on the leading on one of the leading brand soaps. First, I'm going to wet the vehicle again and show you the runoff on the paint. And as you can see, when the vehicle is wet, there's basically a runoff, a flat sheet of water that is running off. That is a clear indication that the vehicle has not been waxed. Rather, the water should bead up and sort of drip together off. They should sort of collide with one another and drip off of the paint rather than creating a wet sheet. So I want to do a control on the side of the vehicle and also on the hood to see how the water beads up. But this is with the leading brand, test one, and then I'm going to test the other side of the vehicle with the liquid gold. Gonna wash that same area with the wash and wax solution from the leading brand, and you can see again why those suds are necessary, because what happens is I'm kicking off the dirt with the bristles, and it's being collected and running down and through, or down and out on top of the suds and onto the floor, which is what you want. I'll try to give a good few passings, apply some pressure. Now, usually I would sit on the car probably for at least 3 minutes as I'm washing the rest of the car, but for time's sake, I'll be right back. All right, it's been a few minutes already. I'm going to go ahead and rinse it off and see what kind of reaction we get from the leading brand. Still the same flat sheet as before. If you look closely, there is some light bubbling or light water pockets is collecting from the wax. So it looks like about the same reaction. It's actually running a lot slower. It's not a bad, awful thing. The water is running off a lot slower as opposed to this section wasn't done. See how fast that runs off? See how fast that water sheet is dissipating versus this one's still draining off. And you see a lot of light water bubbles. So that's great. Now, let's try the same thing on the other side with the liquid gold. Okay, I'm on the other side of the vehicle, and as same as before, I'm gonna create a control. This vehicle has not been washed or waxed at all on this side and this rear panel, and I'm just going to wet it. So you see how fast, you see the sheets of water, but you see how fast the water is leaving. And also, it's not creating water bubbles or pockets. More so, you can see it's just little tiny flat sheets of water that's sitting on top of the paint. Again, another clear indication that the vehicle's not been waxed at all. Now let's see what happens once we clean it with the liquid gold. All right, same as the other side, I'm gonna give it a nice good scrubbing. And there are a good amount of surfactants and suds. As you can see, I like the word surfactant. There's a lot of suds, rather, more than I expected it to be, which is a great thing. And it smells good, clean. I'm gonna try to put a nice scrub on it. Apply a nice amount of pressure. Right. So same as before, I'm gonna let that sit for a little while. And as you can see, the suds are running down, collecting that dirt, which is good. That's what you want to see. I'm gonna let that sit for a few minutes, and then I'll come back and see what happens. All right, so it's been a couple minutes. This is running off quite a bit. Now let's see what happens when we add some water to it. Okay, so we see the water's running off. And again, we see those small little bubbles. That's what you want. That is what you want, ladies and gentlemen. All right, guys, so I wanted to touch bases in reference to the whole purpose of a wash and wax. So a wash spray wax or wash and wax that is in the car wash, it is only used for a top sealant. It is not in any way, shape, form, or fashion like a hard wax or a polish that you would apply with a paste wax. These spray waxes or car wash waxes typically last about 4 to 6 weeks, but the main thing is that it's a maintenance wax. So think of it as the difference between putting lotion on your skin or using a soap that has lotion in it. So obviously putting lotion on your skin is going to treat your pores and fill those pores a lot differently than the soap that you may use. So again, a spray wax is only for maintenance for that hard wax or that paste wax and polish that you should be using every 6 months or so. So don't forget to like and subscribe and comment below, and stay tuned for another episode of how to with detailing solutions. Make it a great day.